So let me ask you, just as a business owner, family, business, everything, do you ever sit and go, how did we get to this size?
Oh, every day, because not only that, but it's such a blessing to think that where I was 30 years ago and the decisions I made, not only choosing my wonderful husband,
Sure.
Being married 28 years, but the decisions that we've made along the time, really, you look back and you see your choices and it's like, what a blessing that I chose that path.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're here now. I would have never dreamed.
First off, who are you?
Who am I? I am Gina Graham.
And we are in Creative Interiors.
We're in Creative Interiors, this location. We have been here for 25, going on 30 years now.
Okay. And how long have you been in this industry? You didn't start 25 years ago.
No, I married into it.
Okay.
So,
all right, let's go back. Okay. Where are you from originally?
Where am I from? I'm from up by Chicago.
What's the name of the town up by?
It's called Belvedere. It's a really small town. It's smaller than Franklin.
Okay.
But it's next to Rockford, which is it's like 45 minutes from Chicago.
Okay. Yeah. And you grew up there, so your parents weren't in this industry?
No. My mom remarried and married someone from the Corvette plant. And we moved down here and I went to high school here.
Where'd you go to high school?
Warren Central.
Okay, so you went to Warren Central. Mm-hmm. Is that where you ended going to school?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. And then what did you do right after that? Did you have any jobs while you're in high school? I always ask people that.
Yeah, well, I did. I waitressed. Loved to waitress because I love being with people. So,
okay, where did you waitress at?
Waitressed at O'Charlie's when it first moved here over on the bypass way back when.
Yeah, and I heard that was a hopping spot back in the day.
It really was. It was a lot of fun. I even broke my leg one time and had to hop around and still waitress.
Wow. Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's not common.
Yeah.
And so you waitress at O'Charlie's anywhere else?
That was the main one, I think. Of course, before that, when I was in high school, I don't know if you remember the Iron Skillet.
Yeah, I've heard tales of it.
Yeah, over on the bypass. That was my very first job.
Okay.
It was really way back, a long time ago.
And then it was right out the doors from you, the kind of same owners, right?
I don't know if it was the same owners or not, but it was the same concept.
Okay. And so how did you meet your husband that got you into this industry?
I don't think we can talk about that.
Oh, can we not?
No, I'm just teasing.
I didn't know what was going on there.
No. We met just through mutual friends, really.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. And then, so how did you get into this industry?
Well, my husband, we dated for probably about a year before we got married, and my husband's family has all the talent. They're the ones who sew, so they made all the ruffles. We started with the ruffles, and she had a little house, my mother-in-law, Rhonda, she had a little house out Scottsville Road, and she just kind of started selling ruffle curtains. That was just something she started, yeah.
So this was a ruffle curtain business.
Started with ruffles back in the late 80s.
Okay, so this is late 80s. And then how did it get to where it is today, where you have a pretty large store that carries more than ruffles and all that? How did we grow?
How did we evolve from there? Well, from there, it got into, we needed to find good pricing for fabric because we were doing such demand, and ruffles took a lot of fabric. So that's when Rhonda and then I went with her son. We went to different fabric manufacturers, like over in the Carolinas and stuff, to try and get better deals because we were buying so much in bulk.
Okay.
So that's how it kind of evolved from there.
Okay. And then how did you get to this location?
From the little house, then we moved out to Cemetery Road for about 2 or 3 years, and that's when we branched from ruffle curtains to panels and swags and jabots, and we added another person to our workroom, and then after that we saw that we were going to add furniture to help display the different rooms, so we built this building.
Okay.
And after we built it, it wasn't long before we had to add on for additions for the workroom, and then after that we had to add a separate building behind us
Okay.
for a workroom.
And now you're not just creative interiors in your family. You guys have, your husband does something completely different that's in the same field.
It is, and it's been kind of funny over the years. We've kind of been separate but together because I found out early on that sewing was not my gift.
Okay.
Because I would run over my fingers with the sewing machine.
Sure.
So I was better at working with the customers and picking out fabrics, and I took the classes and went to school and learned all about the fun things of fabrics and colors and design. And then that played in with my husband, who's a builder.
Okay.
So the building behind us, he's on the second floor, and
Okay.
his office is up there. So where we've evolved now is, of course, we're a little bit older,
Sure.
and our kids are coming up behind us.
So it's now a third generation business. Yeah.
We are so excited. Our daughter, Kristen, has graduated from Western, and she's working over with Tim in the design side.
Okay.
And she's the project manager, and she takes care of all the products and the contractors. And then Creative Interiors has a showroom that we're building, and that's for the cabinets and the flooring and the whole other side of it. So we can have a showroom not just for fabric, not just for interior design, but we can do the whole remodel.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when is that showroom going to be open, you think?
It'll probably be mid-September.
Okay, so not too, when this actually goes out, we might not be open.
We might be open. It's starting to roll pretty fast now. It took a long time to get to this point because we had to have custom cabinets made. We have stock cabinets. We have good pricing for vendors that I was really, really pleased at. But my husband's had a relationship with all these people for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, I don't know why we didn't think about it before, but it was a natural fit. And with the kids coming up to take some more responsibility, it was just perfect.
So you guys don't deal with just people who are first getting into homes. You're dealing a lot with remodel jobs and just updating homes. And a lot of places in Bowling Green, that's what they're looking for, is because they maybe have a house that was built. Even now, the early 90s is seeming outdated to some.
Right.
Correct.
Right. That's correct.
So what do they do when they get with you? How do they get with you, and how does that process go?
Well, what we do is either I or Kristen will talk with the customer and try to figure out what their needs are.
Mm-hmm.
We'll try and see, how big of a project, how small of a project, and then we will turn it over to the person that would apply to, whether it's a large remodel kitchen job and do the quoting for there, or if it's just an interior design side. Because we have enough staffing all around to help with each area. And my big thing is that we are versatile.
Sure.
We're not just one thing.
All right. Okay. So we started in a small house.
Small little house.
How big was the house in comparison to what we have now?
Well, we have like 8,000 square feet here now. So we started with probably...
Would it be similar to...
Yeah, a little room. In fact, if it was a little house, you were probably talking about 1,000 square feet total.
Okay.
And that included the little workroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And back here is where the cabinet is going to be, right?
That's correct. You've got a wall.
You want to walk back there?
Let's walk back there. I'm going to tell you all about the fun stuff. It's really a mess right now, but we've got all the cabinets that are in. We've got the granite some of it's here and on the way.
Sure.
We're getting ready to tile today.
Oh, okay.
So that's the exciting part. So what we have is a nice entrance. We're going to have the big logo up here at the top.
Okay.
It'll say Design or Creative Interiors Design Center.
Okay.
And this will be our entry, because it says entry.
Yeah. Let me get that.
We got
Entry.
an entry. So we do have some light fixtures, and we've got it painted. This is our first kitchen. We have 3 kitchens total.
Okay.
So this is our first kitchen, and it's going to be kind of cornered. And of course, we'll have appliances in here as well. So you'll be able to see the different tile, granite, quartz, the different options, and the different styles of doors, whether it's shaker, overlay, and then the hardware. We're gonna have it all. We're gonna have, the fun part for us is the flooring, because we got to be creative here in the entry.
Okay.
So we did a lot of different designs with the same product.
Okay.
So you can see how the product looks in the same color,
Okay.
but we lay it differently. And then we'll go over here. This you won't see at all.
Okay.
Because this is going to have one of those barn doors on it.
Okay.
Because this is just going to be storage. So it's going to be just kind of closed and you won't see that. Over here, amongst all our mess.
Yeah. Well, we're in the middle of doing something.
So this is going to be the office, and we'll have bookcases all the way back, and you can see, besides the light fixture, we've got lights that are built in. We've got a really nice desk that's going to sit up front, and of course we've got some really cool accessories coming. I have to say that's the fun part for me. This is kitchen number 2. This is one of the larger ones, and it's going to show the glass cabinets above. You know, we're going to have staggered cabinets. You're going to have a really neat sink. I've got a refrigerator. If I could just get a washer and dryer here, I'd be set. I'd probably never leave.
Exactly.
This is going to be a pantry. And in the pantry, we've done a lot of different styles of not only shelving, but different ways to show how you can do your pantry.
Okay.
Some neat little tricks that we've learned along the way. This is our third kitchen. So we have 3 different styles. The first one is an elegant style kitchen. This one is just a more traditional, and then this one will be more rustic.
Okay.
So you have 3 totally different types with 3 different colors of cabinets. Some are stained, some are painted, and some are glazed.
Okay.
So we have a good mix. Good mix. Okay, and then we're going to peek around the corner.
Okay, let's do that.
Just peek.
All right.
Because it's a really narrow.
Well, I can do it like this if we can focus in.
This is going to have just vanities. So
Okay.
it's just 4 different
okay.
vanities.
Let me see if I can walk into this.
It's going to have 4 different vanities with different, and again, it's going to be different styles and different colors. You're going to have a modern, you're going to have traditional, you're going to have some just whimsical things too. So we got to have fun with the colors of the cabinets. There was a navy cabinet we're going to do. So we're going to do a glazed cabinet. And then some that are even for children, you know, the fun.
Oh, okay, okay.
All the way around. All right, let's go back this way real quick. We'll put it all together. There's still creative interiors.
Yeah.
Yep, still there. And then this big oblong place is the design center.
Okay.
So in here is where we finish looking and picking out items. And we come here and there's cabinets from all our different vendors, our granite samples, our hardwood, our carpet, our tile. Everything will be here. I'll have a nice big island that houses all of our samples. And then along the wall is all the different companies with the different samples of the cabinets.
So the design center is probably smaller or bigger than the original building.
Yes. Yeah, that is exactly right.
Is it?
It is. That's exactly right. I didn't even think about that.
So let me ask you, just as a business owner, family, business, everything, do you ever sit and go, how did we get to this size?
Every day, because not only that, but it's such a blessing to think that where I was 30 years ago and the decisions I made, you know, not only choosing my wonderful husband,
Sure.
you know, being married 28 years, but the decisions that we've made along the time, really, you look back and you see your choices and it's like, what a blessing that I chose that path. And then we're here now. I would have never dreamed.
Was there any hard parts where you thought, oh, is this going to even stay around? Because, I mean, let's be blunt. 2008, you probably were a little...
Right. And then when we ended up totally buying it from my mother-in-law was right when the recession started.
Oh.
You know.
How was that? Not to get too personal, but that had to be like a marriage.
Right. It was really scary, really scary.
How did you get through it?
We depended on God for everything. And we knew that He had a plan for not only us as a couple, but as the people who have worked for creative interiors and design builders for so long.
Sure.
I mean, everybody's been with us for over 20 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know, our people that work out in the crew, our workrooms have been with us for almost 20 years. So we knew that God had a plan for them. And unfortunately, they were dependent on us.
Yeah.
So we had to figure out what God was saying. And once I opened up my ears a little bit and stopped being so scared.
Sure. I really haven't gotten into this with many people yet, but how is, because a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people look at business owners who just use employees as, oh, they're just the people to make you money. But how stressful is it to, make payroll, make sure you've got insurance, for all that kind of stuff?
And my husband is definitely the brains of the operation because I never wanted to own a business. Okay. I am not the type, and when we bought the business, I did not want to be the owner. And I fought against it. I have to say I did. And God and I, we battled it because he's like, you need to be here. You need to do this. And I'm like, I don't make those decisions of the business part of it. I can design. I can work with customers. I can do all that.
Why do you think you were like that? Was it just fear?
It was. It was fear in running and making a decision that affected so many people. Mm-hmm. And it's not something I felt that I was trained in. And as God kept telling me, I wasn't trained in teaching Sunday school, but he taught me and walked me through it.
Okay. But a lot of times people have fear of failure. But failure is part of business.
It is, and that's okay. The hard part is it affects all these people in their homes.
But it also helps you make better decisions later on down the road.
It does. We made mistakes along the way.
Everyone does that.
Yeah. And I feel like we've compensated for it. I think that overall, we've come back. We've learned more. We're excited to do more products. In our experience, we can bring into the whole new project now. So I'm excited about that.
We talked about decision making. Mm-hmm. Market's changing big time for this space.
It is.
And so how do you combat, let's be blunt, there's a ton of internet, people looking on the internet. How do you differentiate in this kind of market where everyone seems to be looking for a commodity on some sense of where can I buy it cheap? But a lot of times that is not in the long run what they really want, especially in this.
Right, and I think most people, everybody wants a good, fair price. I think it's across the board. I don't think anybody ever comes and says to us after giving a bid, oh, that's a great price. No one says that because you're spending a large amount of money.
Sure.
But what you're getting is you're looking for a good product and you want it at a fair price.
Sure.
And I think that as far as the competitors are, whether it's the internet or other places, what we offer is a little bit different because we have the experience to help you get to what you're looking for.
Sure.
We can help you walk through with all the right questions to get you the atmosphere, the look that you're looking for.
Sure. There's a lot of education now that you can, little added education, because it's not like you sit here and you just have ideas pop in your head. You're constantly, from me just working with you, you're always on the road finding new things. How do you find new trends?
New trends, that's the fun part. Then I get to go over to the north, south, east, and west, and there's classes. There's the home building shows, there's the kitchen and bath shows, there's the interior design shows up in Chicago.
Sure.
So you get a wide variety of not just fabrics, not just furniture markets. You get fabric, you get the whole thing. And then there's classes there, and I just take all the classes I can because it's ever changing.
What is Bowling Green style? I lived for a portion of time in Lexington, and it still kind of stays the same. There's a lot of horses, a lot of reds, greens, navy blue. But what is Bowling Green style? Would you say?
Bowling Green is still pretty traditional. If you go, 45 minutes south to Nashville, they're going to have a lot more contemporary, modern things. Mm-hmm. For people that want to have it. Here in Bowling Green, if you go north, you can go up to Louisville, and I think they're a little bit more modern, but they're still traditional there as well. They tend to have pops of colors more so than Bowling Green. I think Bowling Green is evolving with the different people coming in from all over, because what I see the most is that customers are now figuring out that it's not always the latest trend. It's what they like.
Sure.
And that's what we try to help them get.
Isn't that the best trend, though?
It is, because you can live with it forever.
Who inspires you?
Who inspires me? Oh my goodness, some tough questions.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah. Who inspires you? It doesn't even have to be business oriented. Who kind of do you look at and you go, kind of like what they're doing?
There's a lot of different people within my circle of friends
Sure.
that I learn a lot from.
Okay.
And it's not just always design trends or the latest and greatest. It's how to communicate and how to be a better person. And that's where my group of friends help me with that.
What's the best advice you recently got?
Hiring you.
Okay.
I mean, only because you have expanded everything that I would have never thought that I would be able to do. I mean, I've looked at so many different types of advertising, and that's just not something I'm comfortable with. I can do your home, I can come up with colors, advertising for internet, TV, whatever it is, it's overwhelming for me. You have a really good perspective on each business you do to what's best for them. So
Sure.
you're not selling just one thing.
And I did not pay her to say that. But seriously, here's something I think people should know. Okay, so we started doing some of the, if you have a sell or if you have something to push,
Right.
we've been using Facebook and Instagram to push it. I don't think I've ever mentioned on here, I've had a TV, radio, all those backgrounds.
Right.
How's it different? Marketing is totally different than
Totally.
10 years ago.
Right.
So how is it different, you think?
It's completely different because even before the recession, we didn't have advertising budget
Sure,
because everything was word of mouth.
sure.
Because we didn't have to worry about it. So I didn't have a budget at all, let alone a TV, a radio, social media, house, whatever it is. You know, I had to come up with a budget and figure out what it is and then where to plug in for the business.
And it's not really sales based.
No. Oh,
It's
no.
more storytelling.
Awareness.
Yeah.
This is, we're here. Yeah, it's not sales as far as, you know, I need to sell you this or that. It's more of awareness of creative interiors and what we have to offer. We have blinds, we have motorization, we have fabric. We're starting the showroom. It's a good starting point to get your information for what you want for your project.
Advice for someone who's marrying into a family business. There may be some young man or woman who's marrying into a family business. Be honest, is there pitfalls to that?
There is huge pitfalls, and I think there's a misconception to owning a business. If you own a business, you're just all of a sudden rich.
No.
Unfortunately, the other side of that is, yes, there's a large amount of things happening, so it looks like there's a large amount of money, but it's not like someone gave me a business free.
Yeah.
So it's just like if someone has a larger house, you know, they make a lot of money. Well, that larger house still didn't come free.
Sure.
You know, so that came with a large payment that has to be made, just
Sure.
like it does here in our vendors and our new products. You know, that's just ever evolving.
Well, let's walk this way
Sure.
and let's talk about it. You actually own everything that's on the floor.
Yes, we do.
And so that doesn't feed you until it goes out the door, right?
That's correct.
And that's the hard part about owning a business, especially one in retail space. How has business changed? Like, are you going to have all these fabrics in the long run, you think?
We'll still have fabrics just because evidently I'm so addicted that when a sales rep comes around like he did yesterday, I can't say no. I mean,
So you'll always have these, but are you trying to make it a little bit less because people are wanting?
yeah, because I don't need to make the investment. And the way the fabric has changed now, everything is special order.
Okay.
And it doesn't cost as much more unless you get to that high-end company that sells that fabric.
Okay.
What they've done, because after the recession, all the fabric companies have changed how they sell it to even me.
Okay.
So I don't have to stock it. They're going to sell it to me for the same price as shipping it next day to me.
Okay. So lastly, what would you suggest to someone who's wanting to work with you guys? The design center is going to come online here mid-September, late September. What do you think people should know before they come in and start looking?
I think some of the things that are good to have before you come in, obviously you've got a project, whether it's a remodel, a new home, just a redoing a bedroom. Some of the things to come in is things that you like that you don't like, but I would ask that you don't come in looking for a specific thing, whether it's a certain color, fabric. Those kind of things are hard to find. What we're looking for is we're trying to create an atmosphere, and the
Okay.
more that you're not right down the line for that, the more I can help.
Don't pigeonhole yourself.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Is there anything else that people need to know about you that you like to come in here? I mean, you've got some furniture, but what is the main thing that people need to know that you guys do that it seems like nobody knows you do?
Well, because Creative Interiors has been here for a long time, and I think everybody thinks we're just high-end. We do have high-end products, but we're versatile again. So I have blinds, I have Roman shades, I have motorized, I have cordless. We have all the different options, and we have, for just blinds, I've got 6 different companies to choose from, which means
Okay.
I have a good price range. So it's not always just high-end,
Sure.
you know. I can do a mid-range, and that's what we always start with.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you, Gina.
Thank you.